frankly, I hate to say it, our country is going to hell, and we're not going to let it happen.
A sharp fall in stock markets, plummeting oil prices, economic slowdown in China, Brazil and Russia, escalating political tensions in multiple places around the world can be named among the many other major factors impacting the events in the world today. When we have banks around the world which are preparing for an economic nuclear winter, we have Lord Rothschild issuing a direct warning to investors. Lord Rothschild is saying that 2016 is likely to be a very difficult year for the world's economy. When Jacob Rothschild says that he's buying gold because the central banks are out of control, you have to laugh, because he and his family have been in control of the world's central banks for centuries. Trillionaire Rothschild warns that his own central banking system is falling and warns investors to buy gold. When we're witnessing the dollar losing its global currency status, we are witnessing a new form of global control being established. I should say, we are witnessing a new world government being pushed on Europe. George Soros, he knows exactly what is going to happen. So why this time George Soros did not speculate on Brexit or British currency, where he could make at least 10 and maybe 100 billions of dollars in profit? Why George Soros is investing and moving his assets to gold? Why we have people like George Soros, Jim Rogers saying that they are investing in Russia, when we have 10 trillion of US dollars worth of investors and we have 150,000 Chinese companies entering Russian market? George Soros and Jim Rogers, they are insiders and they know something that we don't know. The global elite is moving to Asia. The global elite's goal is to break up Western hegemony and redistribute power back to major countries in the East in order to further destabilize the world's financial structure. According to some Russian sources on the internet, they are claiming that the global control system that was controlling the big part of this world is leaving London. London was the center of control, and it looks like that globalists are moving their center of control to China. This information is unconfirmed yet, but here's the first big sign in the front of everyone's eyes. During the summit of G20, China provided a rolling red carpet staircase for every arriving state leader. But the United States President Barack Obama had to leave his aircraft on metal stairs. China had deliberately did this to Obama when he exited the Air Force One through the back stairway without the red carpet. This is yet another sign that the US is not a world's leader any longer. In this case, actions speak louder than words. You can call it a direct warning to the world that the global elite has moved its center of control to China, and it looks like that the global elite will use Russia and China to destroy the United States elite. I would not pay any attention to this information, because this kind of information was circulating on the internet for the last 5 years, at least. China and Russia will be used by the globalists to destroy the United States elite. Very simple analogy. If you look at what was going on between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, remember that Clinton's family is very powerful, but again, they cannot defeat Donald Trump. What is going on here? All those emails and other negative information regarding Clintons is coming out from sources that Clintons do not have control. When there is a fight between two or more groups, if one group is significantly more powerful, thus this group can defeat the opponent. My point is that the group of people behind Donald Trump are more powerful than Clinton's group. So a group of individuals who are backing Donald Trump are at a direct conflict with the Clinton's group. George Soros delivers a direct warning to investors. George Soros is preparing for an economic collapse. Does he know something that we don't know? Of course he does. When billionaire George Soros speaks up, everyone listens. And this time should be no different, as the legendary investor is warning that an economic collapse is very close. Dr. Ron Paul warns that if the US continues along the course it is on, we will witness a three-stage slide into social and political chaos, beginning with the current financial crisis, a coming dollar crisis, which will result in a mass unrest. Reality is setting in. The only way to prevent social breakdown is to embrace liberty and self-reliance, and to reject the nanny-state and government dependency. The whole world is rapidly moving towards a dangerous time in our history. Society as we know it is vulnerable to political and social unrest. This coming crisis is a result of the US foreign and domestic policies, ignorance about the central banking, ignoring the power and mischief of the intelligence agencies, unstable welfare state, willingness to sacrifice privacy and civil liberties in an attempt to achieve safety and security from bankrupt government. Breaking News TV will keep you updated with the real news, where it's becoming increasingly hard to find it on YouTube. You can find all our best videos on Breaking News TV YouTube channel.
So essentially you're predicting the entire US financial system will come to a halt.
That's right. Like I said, we'll see a total breakdown of the stock market. Imagine 2008, Black Monday, and the crash of '29, all happening in a single morning. But what really worries me isn't necessarily a stock market crash. The real killer will be the effect of all this on our society.
You mean unemployment?
No, it goes deeper than that. When you destroy a nation's money, you destroy businesses and friendships and families. When money can't be trusted, the price signals in the markets all around the world can't be relied on anymore, which makes it harder and harder for people to exchange labor and capital. The entire system breaks down. So does the fabric of society. Faith in money is critical to a free society. It's critical to jobs, businesses, relationships, you name it. Without faith in money, you can forget about businesses and commerce, and you can forget about any sense of normalcy. People won't have any clue what to do when there's a line around the block just to access an ATM, or when banks start shutting down. They won't have any idea what to do when stores stop accepting dollars as payments, or when no one's willing to make a loan anymore.
So you're basically predicting social unrest.
Definitely. We're likely to see it in many different degrees, even more so than what we already see today. When money loses its value, products and goods become the only thing worth having, so crime skyrockets. The government's not going to save you or anyone else. The government couldn't help even if they wanted to. That's how bad things get when you have a desperate, broke government in charge of a crisis.
And the government has no plan whatsoever to try and get ready for this.
Well, the government might have a plan, Jared, but it doesn't involve helping.
When everyone is worried about that Brexit will cause the domino effect in Europe's banking sector, top trends forecaster in the world, Gerald Celente, just issued a dire warning. Mr. Celente predicts chaos in the world. Gerald Celente is now predicting that we are going to see a global stock market crash before the end of this year. Celente says that it won't just be the US stocks. He believes that crashes are also coming to the DAX, the FTSE, Shanghai, and the Nikkei. In other words, it is going to be a truly global financial crisis. And he says that there is going to be panic on the streets, from Wall Street to Shanghai, and from UK down to Brazil. The domino effect will begin to unleash and the chaos worldwide. First Soros, now Jim Rogers, predicts $1 trillion biblical crash. Jim Rogers has just released a new warning to us all. He's even using biblical references to warn us of a financial tsunami that could hit any moment now. He has said that a $68 trillion biblical collapse is about to wipe out millions of Americans. Mr. Rogers co-founded the Quantum Fund with George Soros in the early 1970s. The fund generated returns of 4,200% over 10 years and made fortunes for both gentlemen. If you are concerned about the US dollar, or you own any assets like stocks or bonds priced in dollars, an urgent new warning from Jim Rickards. What will this mean to us all? There will be a devastating stock market crash. The data shows at least 70% loss practically overnight. The US dollar will lose its global status as the world's reserve currency, as up to 70% of its value vanishes practically overnight. In my view, this will happen immediately after the 2nd of October, when many countries will shift their business to Chinese currency. Keep in mind, when the dollar will collapse, any investment priced in dollars will collapse too. Stocks, bonds, pensions, money market funds, social security, and dozens of other investments. The fate of the global economy was decided decades ago as deficits, debts, and derivatives started their exponential growth and reached a time bomb phase that we are now in. This final chapter of this 100-year era will end in a final and total catastrophe of the current financial system. For the second time in the space of 10 years, the powerful Bilderberg Group is plotting to trigger a financial collapse, with the elites already positioning themselves to profit from the next economic collapse.